Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. A lot went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of this episode, Natalie ends up gathering everybody into one room together, and everyone knows that when Natalie does this, there's going to be some type of drama that goes down, so I was just waiting for it to happen. But before Natalie could even tell the girls anything about what was going on, Biggie ended up walking in through the front door, and as soon as Rollie saw Biggie walk in, she immediately stood up because she was ready to fight. The two of them have a lot of drama stemming from last season, and so that's the reason why the two of them ended up getting into this fight. But I need to go into a quick little side note because I don't have an issue with Anna. Like, I kind of like her this season so far, but I didn't like the way that she came at Biggie because she tried to say that Biggie just walked in, didn't greet anybody, and just ran up to fight Rollie. And that's not the truth. She walked in, she said hello to everyone. She even gave out a few hugs before she ran up to fight Rollie. Now, Rollie and Biggie did end up fighting. They fought 3 times, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comment section, but I believe they fought 3 times. Both of their wigs were off. They just looked crazy. It was just a hot mess. But what was weird to me is that when security got the two of them apart, Rollie kept telling Biggie to run up, but I feel like Rollie should have been the one to run up since she's the one that wanted to fight again. It was clear to me that Biggie was over fighting Rollie after the first round. Now, Biggie did end up running up on Rollie again, and Rollie kicked this girl. I mean, she kicked her right above the belly button, right underneath the breast, and I was like, what the hell is she doing? Like, what is up with this show and everybody getting kicked all the time? Like, every single season of this show, somebody ends up getting kicked. Now, at this point, the fight between Rollie and Biggie is broken up, and Biggie keeps on speaking Spanish, and it's something that she does a lot. She switches from English to Spanish, and some of the girls seem to have an issue with it because some of them don't understand what she's saying. I don't think it really matters. I mean, I don't mind it, but I know that some people do. But I don't feel like Rollie has the right to complain about it because she was sitting there making fun of the girl's voice, something that the girl cannot control. She can't control the way that her voice sounds. I think that it's petty to pick on somebody for something that they can't control. And I have to be honest, I was not a fan of Biggie last season. I just was not feeling her, but I do like that she came in this season and she called out Rollie for her behavior and her attitude towards people, because at the end of the day, a lot of the girls won't say anything to Rollie about how they really feel. They'll kiss her ass to her face and then get in their confessional and talk a bunch of shit. Cough, cough, Mariah Lynn, but we'll get into that in a second. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think that Rollie had a reason last season to have an issue with Biggie. I think that a lot of people wasn't feeling her last season, but the way that Rollie was talking to and treating Biggie at the Baddies audition for this season was crazy. She kept yelling at her for no reason at all. She was just being really disrespectful to her. Now, while Biggie and Rollie were going back and forth, Rollie tells Biggie that her arm is bleeding, so apparently Rollie must have bit her during the fight. Honestly, I wasn't surprised, nor was I shocked at the bite on Biggie's arm, because at the end of the day, if you used to watch the Bad Girls Club, you know that a couple of girls bit somebody on their season, so it wasn't surprising to me. While Rollie and Biggie are in the middle of an argument, T ends up walking in and she looks all pretty. She's dressed up, her makeup and her hair's done. She just looks really good, and she walks in all smiles and she's greeting everyone. Honestly, I thought that it was funny the way that she walked in and she was smiling and greeting everybody and acting like she was just in this really, really good mood, because I know that she was doing it because the girls were complaining in the previous episode that she wasn't being friendly. And when I tell you that I cackled at her smiling at Rollie and greeting her, because I just thought that it was hilarious, because Rollie was the main one talking shit about T in the previous episode and talking about her attitude and how she didn't greet anybody, so that was the reason that she said hello to Rollie, and I just thought that it was funny that she did that. Mariah Lynn is the definition of a confessional gangster, because at the end of the day, she was being fake in her confessional, and I've noticed this over the last 2 episodes, because she was saying in this episode that she loves T and how she came in all smiles looking pretty, and then in last week's episode to the other girls, she was agreeing that T was giving them all an attitude, but then in her confessional, she was saying that she felt bad for T because she had to fight 3 girls and she was sick. A lot of people, including myself, did give Mariah Lynn props for having Taseki's back when she had to fight 2 of Krishan's friends, but ever since then, she's been playing both sides. Now, I won't take that away from her that she absolutely did have Taseki's back, but at the end of the day, I'm seeing a different side of her. Rollie ended up asking T why she wasn't all smiles and friendly when they were on the bus going go-karting, and that didn't make any sense to me why she would ask her that stupid question, because at the end of the day, she was sick at that point. Why would she be smiling and happy when she doesn't feel good? You don't know how she was feeling when she was sick. You don't know what was going on in her body at the time. And then on top of that, it's like, to me, Rollie is always in a bad mood. Like, she always has a stank look on her face. She's always complaining about something. So I don't understand why she expects somebody else to be smiling and happy all the time when she's not herself. And then Scarface ended up jumping into the conversation and telling T that she was acting the way that she was acting because of crack. And listen, I was dying laughing when T clapped back and said your mama to Scarface, because at the end of the day, she said it in the sweetest, calmest voice you can say it in, and it was obviously pissing off Scarface because she ended up tying up her hair. And listen, I have to be honest, I was not a fan of T at the beginning of this season because I didn't like the way that she screamed at Scotty. I just didn't think that it was necessary. But after seeing the way that she was able to handle herself after having to fight 3 girls one after another, and then listening to her talk about herself and her life on Winter's podcast last week, I actually do like T now. Then Scarface, to me, was looking for any reason to have an issue with T, because how is she going to say that T does crack and then get mad when she responded back with your mama? Scarface starts tying up her hair and slowly walking towards T, which she was definitely going to try to sneak her, and she admitted that she's sneaky and she likes to do stuff like that, so that's exactly what she was trying to do. But T saw her, so when Scarface walked up, they both started swinging. Now, honestly, I thought that I was weak for Scarface to even go after T in the first place, because the person that she really has issues with is Tasiki, but we all know why she won't go after her. Now, T and Scarface start fighting, and obviously T isn't sick anymore because she was able to handle herself a lot better during this fight. But because of all the fighting that just happened, Natalie decided to get 2 separate houses, which I don't like when she does 2 separate houses, because what's the point of the show if half the girls don't get to see each other? The only time all these girls get to see each other is at the club or right before they leave to go to the next city. Rollie starts going in on Biggie, telling her that she's a replacement so she doesn't get to go to the OG house, and I'm really confused because I don't understand why Rollie thinks that she's above Biggie. At the end of the day, they're both on the same show, on the same network, and then on top of that, it's like, what exactly has Rollie done, or what is Rollie doing that makes her better than Biggie? And then on top of that, Natalie ends up taking Mariah Lynn, Rollie, and Scotty, and Scarface with her to the new house, and I don't understand why Scarface is going to this so-called OG house when she's not an OG, she's a replacement this season too. And can we talk about Mariah Lynn basically kissing Rollie's ass while they were on the way to the new house? Like, why is she doing that? Why is she kissing Rollie's ass and then talking about her in the confessionals? It's like she doesn't think that people are gonna see when the show airs that she's playing both sides. Now, the house that Natalie, Scotty, Mariah Lynn, and Rollie ended up getting was a lot better than the first house, and I don't think that that's fair, and that's why I don't like them doing 2 separate houses. And then on top of that, I'm not really a fan of Natalie recasting girls from previous seasons, because then they think they're above the girls who come on the show for the next season, even though they're not above them because they're all on the same show. Now, later that night, they ended up having a club hosting in Philly, and while they were on the bus, Anna was saying in her confessional that she didn't know how to feel about Biggie because she felt like Biggie was acting a little bit too cocky. Now, although I can see that because Biggie did kind of act cocky at the beginning of last season, I do think that because Biggie just got there, so they just met each other, that Anna should give her a little bit more of a chance, and then if she does something to piss her off, then she can go off on her, and I don't think that anybody would say anything about it. Despite all the drama that went down with everybody, they were able to put their differences aside when they got to the club, and they were having a great time. I mean, Bobby Shmurda was there, Kat from last season was there, and everybody was just having a really good time. And the show would be a lot more entertaining if Natalie put them all on the same bus on the way home after the club, because let's be honest, some of the best moments on Bad Girls Club was that limo ride home from the club. Now, despite the fact that everybody was having a really good time, Mariah Lynn did notice and point out that Smiley was dancing at the club, all smiles with a short skirt on, and she felt some type of way about it. Because obviously in the previous episode, Smiley said that she had a miscarriage. So everybody is noticing that she's not acting like she had one. Now, I don't know how you act when you have one, because I've never had one before, and my heart goes out to all the women who have had them. But if Smiley is lying about this, it's wrong, but I'm not going to assume she's lying until I see proof that she is. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies East. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.